Well, hello, and welcome to Needles at the Ready. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ray.
Today is Saturday, June 8th.
Whoa!
This is episode 137 of our YouTube channel where we talk about knitting, crocheting, spinning, yarn, dyeing, buying, and all that fun stuff that goes along with that. So welcome back to all the returning viewers, and welcome to some new viewers.
Yes, it's lovely to have you.
Yes.
Welcome aboard. You know, it was this one's birthday yesterday. So
it was.
Huge happy birthday, and a lot of you wished Kevin some happy birthdays through social medias and things. It was really sweet.
Yes, so thank you for all those for the birthday wishes yesterday.
As you can tell, it is Sunday, so we are a day late. We
were tired.
We were tired, yeah. You know, we like to tap into our inner youth.
Which is good.
Like once a year. And
don't lie.
We certainly
It happens way more than once a year.
Really? Not like that. When's the last time you were up till 3 o'clock in the morning on purpose?
Probably a couple months ago. Remember when I had the hiccups outside at like 2 in the morning? So, to say once a year? You liar.
We had a great time on Friday night. It was really lovely.
It was. So we just went to bed late, and then I woke up super early yesterday. We both did, you know.
Well, I woke up at 9.
And I
have not seen 9 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know the last time you've done that. And I woke up at 8. So we were just tired, and we hung out at home and had a nice, lovely, relaxing day yesterday.
Yeah, movie marathon.
We did. So, and yeah, so
what have we been up to? Lots of things. Thanks for asking.
It's been a very social 2 weeks for us. So we'll like kind of through it.
I wonder how the YouTube algorithm or the YouTube
the closed captioning when they do that
will pick up on that. I wonder what it says.
So after the last episode, that evening we had some friends come over. We grilled. We played some categories, and we hung out.
I forgot we played categories. Yeah. That was nice.
We hung out and chatted. These are our friends who are getting married in September. We're going on the cruise to Bermuda.
Yes.
So that was really good to catch up. It was so crazy because we had talked we all live, with the exception of one. She probably lives about like a half an hour from us, but we live fairly close to each other, right? In the same state, so it's not that far. And it's been like a year since we hung out, but we've known each other since we were 15, and then Ray met them when we met, so that's 25 years that you've known them. But
it's a long time.
I know. So we had a really nice time that Saturday, and then that weekend was Memorial Day weekend here, so we went to the parade on Monday.
Yep.
Because Reese was walking in it, and Riley joined.
Yeah, it was really cute.
So we saw them, and then we went back to your mother's house for a Memorial Day picnic, and hung out there. Then last weekend, we had our friends Kelly and Gary come over, and then our daughters and son. So that was really good too. It was a long time since we saw them, and it's really,
the oldest now is 24. Holy cow. I know. When she was born, we visited her in the hospital.
The day that she was born. So it was just good to catch up with the kids and have some fun, had some pizzas, and just hung out. It was actually really weird to have her drinking in the house.
Lily.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And then,
I mean, we didn't get sloshed or anything like that.
No, she had one drink.
Yeah.
And then Friday night we went out for my birthday. And we started the evening at 7 and we ended it at 3 in the morning.
We sure did.
We are here now.
Yeah.
And that's really been our 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been I think our social cups are fulleth.
They are. And now today,
filleth over. If
you could see, we're wearing
we have another social event.
As soon as we're done with it, recording this, we're heading straight to the store to buy some birthday presents. Because
we're last minute.
But it is our niece and nephew's second birthday.
The twins. And their birthday theme is Christmas. So we have our Christmas shirts on. Well, it's Santa.
It's Santa. Okay.
It's Santa. So we have Santa paraphernalia.
And we have our Santa hats downstairs that we will be wearing to said party.
I did order a Santa Claus bathing suit because I thought that would be really funny. And I was really excited. It came, but I waited a couple of days to open it. And they send 2 Santa hats instead of the bathing suit. So I don't have the bathing suit. I'll just have to go with no pants. I'm just kidding.
So we will wear Santa hats.
We will wear Santa hats today as well.
So that has been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And a really quick breakdown of it.
I know. Look at us. 5
So we
minutes
hope you
in.
guys had a good 2 weeks because it's been and it's been really warm and like humid here.
Yeah.
So that hasn't been fun.
No, but we do have the air conditioning, which is nice. We do have to put the air. We have window units. We don't have central air. We keep talking about it, but we'll just have to bring up the window unit today.
Yeah.
We talked about for downstairs.
All right, so let's just do some admin-y stuff.
Yeah, we have a few things.
Yes. So in next weekend, we have a trunk show at Driftwood Yarns in Groton, Connecticut.
I'm so excited for
We
this.
will be there on Saturday. They open at 10 a.m., so we'll be there at 10. So please, if you're in the area, feel free to come and say hello to us. The yarn will be there for a full week, so if you're not able to make it on Saturday, please go any other day within that week, and you can certainly shop some yarn. That is also Worldwide Knit and Public Day, so that will be fun.
Yeah, and we'll be posting on our social media as well, so you can see. But it's Driftwood Yarns in, what's the town?
Groton.
Is it Groton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you so choose, our friend Michael is from Upland Fiber Co. is having a trunk show that day as well, but at Skein Yarn Shop. So if you don't mind making a 40-minute drive from Groton to Rhode Island, feel free to go see.
Wouldn't mind. It's not a bad drive.
No, go see Michael and Justine and Lori and all the fun people over at Skein.
Yeah.
But come see us first.
Our home away from home. Yeah, come see us first, for real. We would love to see you. We want to, we're going to spend the day. We're going to hang out, sit in it. Maybe there's, an outside area.
There is.
Should we bring
It's
chairs?
on the water.
Let's just put chairs in our trunk, just in case. We can be those 2 people that sit by ourselves outside of the yarn shop if nobody else wants to join us.
Okay.
You're not super excited.
Deal.
You're not as excited as me about that. Yeah, no, it'll be great.
No, I was just thinking of packing the car.
Oh, because we have the yarn and stuff, too.
Yeah, right. We have stuff to bring.
We'll make it work.
Besides a chair.
Yeah. It's fine. We can sit on the ground.
Yeah. All right. So that is next Saturday. Then
What's upcoming Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday the 14th?
Yes. And then we did get some questions about the Let's Hear It for the Boy make along, and that will start Father's Day, which is June 15th. So next weekend also. Next Sunday. So next Sunday we'll have a thread up. And what I've done in the meantime is we do mention, and we have in the past, that we have a repository and Ravelry. And so the repository is a thread, and that allows you guys to just share some pattern ideas there. But what I did is I created a bundle on our Ravelry group for men's sweaters, and I added 56. That's a lot. I added 52 patterns there, and it's actually really funny looking at it. The majority of them will.
Oh, there's the Hot Toddy sweatshirt.
Yes,
that's on my.
You have the yarn for it.
I've had the yarn for it for 2 years, 3 years.
I've added projects that were in my favorites or patterns that I've purchased.
Yeah.
I've added patterns that we've known about. So a lot of them are from Martin Story, Andrea Mowry, Max the Knitter, Brooklyn Tweed. There's some from Petite Knit, Megan Savin, right? No, Megan
Babin.
It's the Savin sweater. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
From.
I have the yarn for that too.
I just saw the pattern. Where is she from? Oh my gosh!
I have the yarn for a lot of things.
We have. I mean, look at behind us. We have. I think there's some Marie Wallen ones in there, so there's a lot of options.
And all different. There's some really nice cabled ones. There's really nice raglan.
Hudson and West.
That's color work. Yeah, Hudson and West.
Yeah. So, yeah, I added a bunch. So there's a lot of ideas in there. And what's really fun for me is that every single pattern has a male on the cover of the pattern. Yeah. I added the Oak Grove, which we'll talk about later.
Yep.
So there's a lot of options there. Oh, the whatchamacallit? The Montrealer, which we knit. So bunch.
I want to do
definitely,
another one of the Montrealers.
Definitely take a look at that and the repository there for some ideas, and then we will get that thread open next weekend.
And here's a sneak peek of the new logo. Did you see it? It's cute, right?
Yeah,
I think it's cute.
Not that we don't have any merch this year, though.
No, but I think it's nice to have a little bit of a logo. And it would be kind of cute for maybe people to take it and use it in like their social media posts or something like that. Who knows?
All right.
We will have a hashtag on Instagram as well, just to share some things. We will draw the winners only from Ravelry, though. And we'll come up with some prizes. We haven't really talked about the prizes, but we usually do a really good amount of prizes for Let's Hear It for the Boys. We usually choose 2 from our chatter thread and 2 from our finished object thread on Ravelry. If Ravelry is not accessible to you, you can just email us the patterns or the your projects, or send us pictures on Instagram, or whatever the case is. We understand that it may not be accessible to everybody still, but it's just an easier way for us to be able to manage all of the entries and then be able to draw winners, because the hashtags now on Instagram are very difficult to follow. You can't follow a hashtag. Yeah, so that's what we used to do. But we will have a hashtag on there. It'll be hashtag... What was it?
It's NATR Boys
NATR Boys 2025. Thank you. We'll have that link down below in our show notes, where we will list everything that we speak about today, including patterns, yarns that we've used, things that we might have talked about that we didn't go into a lot of detail from, and any podcasts that we mentioned, things like that. If we forget anything, just let us know and we'll pop it up in the show notes later on.
And something that I often forget to mention is that in our show notes as well, there is a link to a Google document with coupon codes that have been provided to us for all of you. One that we forgot to mention last time that we have, and I'll show some of this later, is from our friend Angie over at Twinkle and Dimple Studios. The coupon code is NATR Nation, and you get 15%.
Nader Nation.
Nader Nation, you get 15% off your order. Angie Shop is also linked down below. And again, I'll update that coupon code sheet today. So when this goes live, that sheet will be updated, and the link to her Etsy shop as well as the coupon code will be there. And we'll show some of Twinkle Dimple later in the episode.
And she just got into a second yarn shop.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I
Which
saw
one?
it on Instagram.
Let's go to her.
You're asking for too many details. You can find her stuff, I know, at Skein. That was really the only place you can get it, but now she has her Etsy shop, and then I just saw it. Yeah, there.
The Knitting Loft.
The Knitting Loft.
Where's the Knitting Loft?
I don't know. I've heard of it, though.
Oh, in Ontario, because
oh yeah,
Canada. Makes sense.
She's from Canada. She's our Canadian friend. Anyway, you'll see some of her stuff scattered throughout the podcast, because I've used it in a couple of my projects.
And I may have made a purchase.
And yes, Kevin may have made a purchase, and Angie may have gone a little bit silly.
And she sent us some stuff for you guys.
She did.
All right, so
okay,
let's get into the knitting. I have one FO and one... Oh, I guess 3 whips.
Great. I have 2 FOs and 2 whips that I will speak about.
So you may start.
Okay. So I finished my... What are these? May socks. These are the Woolens and Nosh socks in our colorway that Kevin and I dyed back in 2023. It is, and then our car got stolen, if you all remember that story. But it was dyed by Kevin and Ray on May 25th, 2023. So I thought it would be really fun to knit those as my May socks, since we dyed them in May. And here they are. I love them. I love them so much. I wanted to use up the entire skein of yarn, so I didn't do any contrasting heels or toes or cuffs or any of that stuff. And I'm happy to say that I did use up the entire skein of yarn. I had like a teensy nugget left because I had pulled out to make sure that things kind of matched up.
Yep.
So I wanted things to kind of match a little bit, except I didn't. I didn't with the heels, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I had pulled... I got a little bit nervous with my yarn management. But the goal was, because it's such a special skein for us, I wanted to try to use... What? Did I slur my words?
No, it is.
Yeah, it was special. We needed the memory.
We did.
To remember that our car got stolen in...
I don't know that we'll forget, because
in Montreal.
It got stolen the day the twins were born.
Oh, it sure did. Yes, that's right. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah. So somewhere around May 20th,
Who knows?
somewhere around there.
I have a picture.
Okay, so I cast on, I talked about this last time. I cast on at the start of a color change so that you have this little pop of color there at the top. I do a German twisted cast on. I did a 2x1 rib, which is totally my favorite now for socks. Yeah. I think it looks so clean. And I did that for 3 color stripes. And then I picked up and just did stockinette in the round. The leg is, I think, close to 9 inches, maybe 8.5 inches. I don't have a...
There's one right behind you on the shelf.
Oh, thanks. Let's see. Again, like I said, I wanted to use the most... Oh, it's 8 inches, the leg. And then I marked for my heel. Continued knitting. For my foot length, I wear a size men's 12. My foot is 11 inches long. So I knit my foot about 2.5 to 2 3/4. Is that right? No, about 3 inches or so short of my foot length. So I do about 7.5 inches, I think. And then I do my toe decreases. For these, I wanted to try to do like the not newer method, but the method of the SSKs where you're slipping the first stitch knitwise, and then you're slipping the second stitch purlwise and knitting those two together through the back loop. It's supposed to create a cleaner looking SSK that matches your knit two togethers a little bit better. So that's what I tried here, and I think it was pretty successful, to be honest with you. They look very much the same. Oops, got stuck on my shirt.
I saw one on Ravelry recently.
Ooh, it's hard to tell. It's hard to flip them.
Where,
so they look very similar.
Yeah, and I saw one on Ravelry where what this person does is they slip them both purlwise.
Yeah.
And then almost do like a cable where the second one they slip in front over? And then they knit the two together, I believe.
Knitting's fun. You do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
You know? And this were one of the things that I love about vanilla socks is that you could just tweak one little thing to practice, and it doesn't change, just to try things out. It doesn't change anything. Yeah. So I did the same thing with the heel there. But with the heels, I got a little bit nervous because I do the heels last on both my socks. So I usually get the tubes done, including the toe, on both socks before I pick up and I do the heel. So I did that, but I got really nervous with the color change. So I started the color change on the second sock at a different spot. So you can see it's like a grayish color where I started there, as opposed to that.
No, here you have pink. Here you have
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Yeah. But still, it's the same. Who cares? So yeah, they fit perfectly. I think that's really all I can say.
All right. Well, I have a couple things. Just socks that I want to talk about that have come up.
Okay.
All right. So one, we had a question in the last episode about how we make sure our socks match. So what we do to make sure our stripes match is we don't split the skeins beforehand.
No.
After we get done knitting, so you could see Ray ended in the pink here. So he would have ripped out until he got to the blue again. Mm-hmm. Left some so he could cast on, and then just continued knitting. So we don't really plan it ahead of time. It's just whatever color we start with. Yeah. We will rip out enough yarn so that we can start with the same color on the second sock.
Yes.
And then another thing, just with this, to go back, and we do this when we have stripes on our cuffs, is once the color change happens in the cuff, the first round of the color change, instead of doing knit 2 purl 1, did you do
I didn't.
You didn't with this one.
No. Isn't that surprising?
Oh, you know what it is? Okay. It is surprising, and maybe it's because it's a knit 1 purl 1 that it's
knit
not,
knit 2 purl 1,
or knit 2 purl 1, that it's not as obvious.
Yeah.
Where the purl bumps are showing, and the colors are quite. in the same, like, maybe same saturation kind of level.
I have
where it
another
blends.
sock that I'm going to show in progress right now that if you were a little bit confused, that will show you what we mean when we break up the ribbing a little bit within the stripe. If you have like pearls or knits within the same in two different colors at the color change, kind of what happens and how to rectify that. We'll talk about it with the next one.
And then last thing is, you might have to help me. So people have asked about the last sock I showed last episode and how it fits. So I wore them again. So these were my socks, and I knit the leg 4 inches before I put in the heel.
So cute.
And it fits really, really well. It's the exact length that I wanted to get. Okay, no.
You're done now?
We're good.
Okay.
I will say, though, and I've been having this issue with socks, is I feel like I need to go to a US 0, and I need to go to maybe 72 stitches.
I don't think you have to go to 72 stitches. I think that you have to go to a 0.
So look at. I wish we could show you guys our feet right now, but look at how stretched out my stitches are compared to yours, right there. And
so I wouldn't go down a needle size. I would go up to 72 stitches, or you can go up a needle size. But this is the length.
And this was how many? 7.5 inches?
8.
8 inches.
So that's what 8 inches looks like for me. And then you can see the heel is in a perfect spot. Yeah, I love them. These are great. We talk about this. It took a while to get to
your recipe.
Their recipe, and that's okay, right? Like, if you don't get discouraged with knitting anything, but specifically socks, like, don't make it more difficult than it really is. If you just have to find what works for you and the method that you use to knit them. Like, I love my 9-inch circular needles. And a lot of you say, oh, Ray, I'm trying the 9-inch circulars. And then it's almost like you're very disappointed if it doesn't work out for you. It's okay. Like, whatever works. He cannot do 9-inch circulars. I don't like knitting on magic loop.
I love magic loop.
Right. And so everybody has a different method, a different way of doing things. Don't let anybody tell you that way is the only way to do it. Even knitting your stitches, right? Like, if you're a continental knitter, our friend Jeff purls a different way. He's a continental knitter. He's
a combination.
He's a combination knitter. And that's cool. And so he just knows for him, when he purls his way, he has to just knit through the back loop the next time it comes around because the stitches are twisted. You find what works for you. Don't let anybody tell you what the best way to do things are. You could do cables with or without a needle. You can twist them differently. You could do whatever you want. Really, just do whatever you want. Don't get discouraged.
Just a good, I think you're right, though, and a good point with knitting. Because a lot of times, not even just us, just asking people, like, a question about knitting. What are your favorite knitting needles? What's your favorite yarn? What's your favorite whatever? For you, your favorite is going to be what's ever best for you.
Right.
Your needles, your yarn, the type of pattern you like to knit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in socks, and I know what can be discouraging is that they do take quite a bit of time. It's not as fast as knitting a hat.
It's a small project that takes a while.
It's a commitment to knit a pair of socks. And I remember my first pair was out of Cascade Heritage. I got the yarn. It was a navy blue yarn. I got it from Knit New Haven. And I don't know that I even finished my second sock.
Oh, I remember that. They were black. Weren't they dark or something?
They're a very dark navy. And I didn't even continue with my second sock. And I went years before I attempted to do a sock again.
And with me, socks were one of my first projects that I did.
Yes.
And I think it was... We kind of talked about this, I think, a while ago, too, is like we get in our heads, right? People set things up like, oh, socks are a hard project. Brioche is hard. Purling is hard. Like, and then you kind of get psyched out and like, well, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for that yet. I think for me, when I started socks so early, I didn't know any difference. Nobody told me like, oh, socks are hard. Don't do socks. So I just did it, right? And like, you improve on it. And I think sometimes you just got to get out of our own heads. Just relax and
it's actually,
try.
it's funny you said that.
What's the worst that can happen? You rip out your yarn. You know?
I was watching... Where's Insta? All right, so it's a fairly new podcast. Ray's only watched like one episode of theirs. I've watched several. But I watched an episode lately of the Table 10 podcast with Rachel and Renee.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're looking for a new podcast on YouTube, go watch them. So their most recent episode was a Q&A that they did. Uh-huh. They both have only been knitting, not religiously, like really got back into knitting. Like they've crocheted before and sewed, and they knew a bit about knitting, but really within the past year or so. Their first projects to like start knitting, and they knew the knit and purl stitch. They both just knit a sweater.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you hear sweaters are hard. They're not. It all just takes time to find out what works for you, right. What your measurements are, like, and how you like things to fit you.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good point, because I struggle with sweaters sometimes because I get in my own head.
Me too, because
right?
I've knit so many that don't fit the way I imagined them fitting when they were done.
Right. And I kind of like hit a block of, well, this isn't working for me. Like what's happening with what the designer is saying, like it's not working. It's too big, or I can't do this. And like, it's like, okay, but you can adjust it, right? We have to tell ourselves that.
We need to take our own advice, because I'm thinking right now, in this house, I currently have sweater projects going. Mm-hmm. I have 6.
Yeah.
6 maybe. That's
wow.
awful.
No, it's not. It's just...
I just need to finish some.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
that's our PSA.
Do what we say, not what we do.
Exactly. All right. So my one and only FO was a new cast on. It was really quick, and I knit it because I wanted it, and I use it all the time. It's the Tiny House Washcloth by Pearl Soho. It is a free pattern. I've made 4 of these in the past. Mm-hmm. I've gifted 2 of them away. Mm-hmm. But I use these as face washcloths.
Yeah. Because the buttercup cotton is so soft.
Which they don't sell anymore.
I know.
And I have a ton.
Yeah.
A ton of it.
You do. I just found do you know we have a whole bin over here?
Yeah.
With it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew that.
So I have a bunch of it living in my bearded pearl bag. And I used these 2 colors. I think this is robin's egg.
So pretty.
And this, who knows?
This really is luxurious, like cotton.
But I have a bunch of them caked up that can go. So whenever I want to, like, knit one, I have a yellow downstairs that I use.
You know what I love about
this one too? Which
even with this,
these 2 I have.
Yeah.
I have 2 in these colors where I just like inverted the colors.
I love the palette. You know, it's like a softer.
Yeah, there's this one. I think Ray did this one. I may have. I don't know. I just got to weave in the ends, but here's another washcloth that's just kind of in there. Familiar. But I do love the pattern. I think it's really cute.
It is very cute.
It does curl in on itself, so this is like how it goes. They must have steamed theirs really well to get the pictures.
But or starched them. But when you block them, when you wet them, it doesn't matter.
It's in the shower. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So it is a fingering weight cotton.
See how drapey.
They do have some recommendations if you want some cotton directly from Pearl Soho. They do have some recommendations that you can use. Like one of them's Cotton Pure, Santalina, Sweetgrass, and they're... If you get them on sale...
Oh, yeah. And Pearl Soho usually has a lot of sales.
They do. Right now it says 25% off linen quill.
Nice.
So it does come with I think 3 different layouts, which the different layout just changes the second color on it, like how much of it you see at the top.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. I'm touching this, right? So, and then you have... Oh, yeah. And then layout 3, so the roof of the house just gets smaller.
I like this one. This is a good...
That's the only one that I've done. I like the larger roof. I like seeing more of the color.
Because it looks more like a house.
Yeah.
You know? Like how we used to draw houses. Or how we still might draw houses
Correct.
these days.
And it is knit on a US 2, so a 2.75 millimeter needle. And super quick. It ends with an I-cord. And I was so bad at Kitchening my I-cord here. I don't know if you can see, but like it is so janky right there. No, I'm not taking it out.
It's a face cloth.
And it's super quick. This is really soft cotton.
It is so soft.
I do find their cotton's really nice. So I think if you would like to knit with some cotton and try something that's not from a big box store, because it changes. Knitting with a good cotton changes how you feel about knitting with cotton. And I really enjoy this.
You know, if you've knit with Buttercup cotton and you've tried one of the substitutes, let us know down below. So I'm very interested to see, because that is such a luxurious feeling cotton.
Yeah, so this is a really good gift thing too. You know, gift a couple of these with a bar of like handmade soap. That's a nice little Christmas gift for people.
Or any gift, really.
True.
Birthday gift, be cute.
Yeah. So that is my only FO.
Lovely. I have one more.
Okay.
It's a large one, but it's one that I also had some. Okay, so I finished my what's it called?
GoGo Dynamo.
GoGo Dynamo by Stephen West. Let me just pull it up. I wasn't prepared. But what else is new?
I keep meaning to ask,
think it's actually really good.
Why don't you bring your iPad up?
Oh yeah, it's a great question. Don't know. This is the GoGo Dynamo. I'm just going to show you the logo because I'm going to show you the actual finished object. So I finished. I did not weave in my ends yet because I just finished. I just blocked it. Here's what I have. Let me just at least move the tails in the back. Would you help me a little bit? Okay. Here's what I have. Keep an eye on this section. Isn't that beautiful? Look how it like has like a balanced kind of look to it, like 3D. And then we'll move on.
It is not 3D.
Yeah, totally. It's 3D. So this is what I've done. You have two options in the pattern at the end. You can finish with this section on the top. And call it done because you have the border that you did, those triangles. Or you can add an additional border, which will add some length as well as some depth to the shawl. I needed to take a break, and I thought this was a great place to call this finished. So this is a FFN, finished for now. It's a new term. Do you like it? I love it.
So
Thanks for asking.
Here's what it would look like with the additional border.
Those wavy lines
the
there?
Waves at the triangles.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the pattern, it's so pretty. I think it's so pretty. The colors that I used, or the yarn that I used before I get into my design choice, the colors that I used
that it was a choice.
Was roasted pumpkin. These are both needles at the ready. This is roasted pumpkin in our superwash BFL nylon base. And that is pistachio brittle. So with their powers combined, we get this.
It reminds me of a caramel apple.
I love it. I think
like
it's
a
good.
Caramel Granny Smith apple.
Yep. It's a little bit warm today, and it clashes a little bit with my outfit. But you can see that
it's actually a good size.
Yeah, the size is good. You know, I think the size is really good. Obviously, you know, you could style it a little bit differently, and depending on what you're wearing. But I think it's a good size. So I'm going to hold off now. I do have this still left, and if I decide that I want to add after I'm wearing it a little bit more. I also did not like stretch this to block it. I just laid it flat. So I didn't pin anything out yet. So there's definitely potential to block it again and give it a little bit more of a stretch.
Yeah. But I think it looks good, the width and the...
Me too.
The length of it at this point.
Me too. So, here is another lesson to read the pattern completely. And I know sometimes it's really easy with Stephen West patterns because you do get into a flow. Like, once you learn whatever that technique is, and you have so many stitches, you're just going, you know, and it's fun, and you're just like, oh, I know what comes next. But every once in a while, there'll be a line in the pattern that changes everything. And I misread the first line in the pattern that changes everything. So way down here, right here, it calls for you to do a massive decrease. So
Very
you're like
rapid.
knitting 1, knitting 2 together the entire way. So you're decreasing something like 60 stitches. I didn't realize, so I missed that. I continued on with the pattern. I didn't check my stitch count because all my slip stitches lined up, everything else lined up. And sometimes, again, for me, I don't necessarily count my stitches on some of these larger projects as if there's like slipping stitches or mosaic or something, because you can see where it lines up. So you're just kind of following the pattern. So then I finished this section here and I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to, and at that point I was like, okay, I can count because it says I'm only supposed to have like, I'm just making up a number, I don't know, like 50 something stitches. I'm like, I have a lot more than that. Yeah, so I had 60 additional stitches by the time I got to here. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to, and then I read back in the pattern and I was like, crap, I forgot to do that giant decrease line. So then I was like, oh, I'll just do it here. No problem. So I did it. I decreased down a poop ton of stitches. Did a couple more rows, and then, surprise, there's another massive decrease that's supposed to happen. And so I did, but what ended up happening was, you know, you're decreasing, you're doing like a massive decrease, like only like a couple of rows apart. So it kind of cinches.
No, not you. Ray.
Yes.
Ray.
So at this point, I'm just saying like what happens if you do massive amounts of decreases so close together. It tightens up that fabric and it kind of cinches everything together. It doesn't give you a lot of leeway.
Right.
One row here or there, it all kind of like blends in. So I get down to that point and I see, oh my gosh, it's all like cinched together. How the heck am I going to recover from this? So I did finish, and then I was like, you know what? This is my sign. I'm going to stop here. It's a finished shawl at this point. I'm going to try to block it out, which you can't because it's all cinched together. So There's no give there, no stretches because it was all knit two together. It wasn't like ribbing or anything like that. But I kind of like the effect now that I'm looking at it because doesn't it look like it's almost intentional?
Yes, based on
right, like each border of those little triangle square things has a little.
It does,
it's like a little valance.
But the only thing it takes away from is that these are no longer triangles.
Right. People had trouble seeing those triangles anyway.
Hey.
So if you would like to create your valanced modification, wait to do your decreases like I did. But I think it looks fine. I think it looks cute. I think the look is neat.
So I wonder though, in another way that you may have potentially been able to correct it is to just do another set of the squares.
Correct.
Because since you didn't do the decrease between this one and this one, you know that following this part in the pattern again would have worked out fine.
Yes.
And you would have just added a third section of the triangle squares.
Yes.
And a fourth section of the bobbles.
Yeah. Correct. And I did think about that, but
you were done.
I was, I didn't enjoy those little bobbles.
I thought I did.
So here are these little bobbles that are in the shawl. They're very, very, very pretty.
They are.
But you have to like knit 3 stitches together through the back loops after you've after you've like slipped stitches and things. So it got a little bit tight, and it was very time consuming for me anyway to do those rows. And they were not like it wasn't super enjoyable for me.
Okay.
So I didn't want it, but yes, you could.
Fair.
That's definitely an option for sure. But there's still a lot more stretch to this. You know, if I wanted to block it out to get some more length.
I do think this is such a good pattern.
Me too.
It's really up there high on my Stephen West shawl patterns.
Yeah.
That I've made.
Mine too. And I do love that it was only the 2 colors. You have a lot of options for increasing, like to do the mohair dare.
It might be my top 3 shawls of his.
I think it looks really cool. This would make a neat poncho, huh?
I was just thinking it's very poncho-like on you right now. You're very Clint Eastwood.
Howdy, partner. Yeah, get me a cowboy hat and a buck. So anyway, that's really all I have to say. There was brioche in here. You also so one of the other modifications, somebody had, I keep forgetting what people call it when I
Rayism.
A rayism? Yeah, a rayism. Another rayism that I did. So if you did not want to do the brioche section, there are 2 sections of brioche. You could do this little section here.
The eyelets.
The eyelets, which is a little bit of a lacy eyelet there. Again, I didn't read the pattern, and I just finished my brioche and then those little baubles, these little bubble things. And then I started the next section, which was the optional section if you didn't want to do brioche. So I did one additional section there. This is full of rayisms.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the
GoGo Dynamo.
The GoGo Dynamo Valance edition.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm happy. I'm really happy.
For sure.
Though. Honestly, with everything, I will definitely wear this a lot.
Oh,
and the BFL is really nice.
It is.
It's like hardy.
It is. It's not toothier because it's not scratchy.
No.
It's just crisp.
Yeah, it's crisp.
It's crisp.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
It's crisp, but still soft, you know? And so squishy.
This just reminded me, what was really great when we had our friends Kelly and Gary over and the God Kids, we brought out our gift bin of knits, and we just dumped it out and said, take whatever you want. They took like 6 to 10 hats.
Yes.
A couple shawls that were in there, a couple cowls that were in there. So that was really nice to be able to do that. If you're new here, we've talked about this a lot, is that, you know, sometimes we just make things and they go in the gift bin, or maybe it's not something we enjoyed after we were done or we weren't going to wear. So it goes in a gift bin, and we generally use that at holiday time. Like if people come over, we put the gift bin out, and that's kind of like your parting gift. You could take something from it. So we were able
Choose
to
your own
gift a bunch of items that weekend.
Yeah, it was lovely.
All right, so moving on to whips.
I only have 2, so you...
I have 3. 2 of them you've seen. One of them's brand new, so I'll do the one that's going to be really quick. I'm making slow progress on my spin, which this is some Polworth that I got from Shirsty Cat Designs. This does not have a colorway name. It's just Pol 24102. And I'm spinning this on my Daedalus Starling. This is also known as Trixie. And here is how it's spinning up.
She's a cute one.
It's really pretty.
I love that, like, it's not really coming... It's coming across a little bit lighter, but in person, this is a little deeper.
What is the
that,
blue?
Like, blue. That baby blue.
It's very robin egg blue.
Yeah,
this is what I have for this little nest of fiber. I have one more from this, and then I have the other half of the braid. So I split one half of the braid into 4 nests, and I'm spinning those from end to end. I actually haven't done any spinning in the last week. So hopefully I could start doing some in the morning this week and get that off. Because I just got some more fiber that came in that I really want to spin because I like the way it looks.
Me too.
It actually looks, interestingly enough, when I show it, I think it looks like a darker, more saturated version of this.
Oh, maybe.
So, man, that could...
No, it's definitely...
No, look. It has blues, oranges, and maroons in it.
but not as light, not these light spots.
Right. So I'm saying it definitely more saturated.
Yeah. Sure.
It, like, if I had both of these in my stash at the same time, I probably would have spun one end to end and the other one end to end and plied them together.
Yeah.
It could have given a fun effect. So that's my quick little update. I haven't done much, but hopefully my plan is to have it done for the next podcast probably.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you go.
Okay. So I made some progress on my Oak Grove sweater vest. This is going to be one of my Rhinebeck garments / sweaters.
This will be our Saturday Rhinebeck for sure.
Yeah, we'll probably wear this on Saturday.
I think weather would also decide what day, but
agreed. Let me just pull this back to the beginning. This pattern is extremely detailed. It's very well written. Again, I had made an error that I had talked about last time. But Chin Matthews did a great job. It is a lace sweater vest. Super fun. Super cool. It's an 8-row, 8-round repeat. And let me show you where I was. So I had misread the sizing. Just if you didn't catch the last episode, I misread the sizing of the sweater vest. I got about 8 repeats, so maybe 64 rows plus the ribbing, all completed before I realized that. So I had to take out the entire thing. I did show the restart, and I'll show you where I was. So I got past where I was before I took it out. I just finished my 10th 8-row repeat. And
that's really good.
Yeah. So here's where I am now. This is where I was on the last podcast. So over 2 weeks, I did this. It does take some time because there are a lot of stitches. It takes some time, but it's a lot of fun. I was trying to explain it on our Thursday night knit night. Like each row, I'm going through, and I'm like, oh, wow, look, I feel like I'm making a lot of progress. It's, like, fun. And then I'm like, wait, 25 minutes went by and I only completed one row?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, it's totally fine. So you can see where I was. This is a Twinkle Dimple Progress Keeper down here.
Cute.
Isn't that so cute? So here's the lace pattern. It's really cool. I love the yarn. I also have my Twinkle Dimple
stitch marker
up here to mark my beginning of the round. I talked about this last time, but I put stitch markers in between every 8 rows, 8 stitch section, because if I mess up, which is inevitable, if I mess up one and I don't have those, I won't know that I messed up until I've gotten all the way around again. And with lace,
yeah. Oof. No, that's smart.
The ribbing I talked about last time, I love. This is a new to me technique for ribbing. So you're knitting one and slipping one. So it's not just but it's still extremely stretchy. I did do a German twisted cast on for the bottom of the vest. You can really see in that lighting, you can really see the lace detail. I think it's going to be gorgeous. The yarn is here. Sustainable by Utopia. It's 100% Midwest fine wools, including Targhee, Rambouillet, Merino, and CVM. They don't have the percentages of what the breakup is, but that's what it contains. It's a DK weight yarn, 230 yards per 100 grams, and the colorway is Dragon Scales. So here's the yarn label. Here's the colorway. And really pretty. We got these at Rhinebeck last year.
Yeah. I actually think it was our last purchase of the Rhinebeck.
It was, because we saw them, I think.
I feel like it was, yeah.
And then we ended up going back. Like, we all just was like, you know what? Let's just do it. We're doing it.
And I was trying to think why it was our last purchase, because we don't purchase typically on Saturdays. We only shop on Sundays.
Right.
So we did our walkthrough and then went back right before we left to grab that.
So this is 2 skeins. I still have this left over, which is not much. But this is 2 skeins. We got 4 skeins each. So I have 2 more skeins of the yarn left.
I've only seen 3 of mine, so hopefully my 4th one's...
I know we definitely got 4 because I have both of them right here.
Okay.
These are my 2 left, and I have two of the tags in here already. So I know that we definitely got 4 of them. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm using the recommended needles. I did use my my last before I ripped it out as my gauge swatch because I did not gauge swatch prior to me casting it on, and I did meet gauge, which was great. So the recommended needles for this pattern, eyeballs, is a US 6 for the body, and I believe it's a US 4 for the ribbing, and then it'll be for the collar and then for the sleeves. So what I gotta just keep telling myself is it's a vest, so I'm not going to be doing sleeves for this. And I have 10 repeats. Like I said, I think it's supposed to be something like 28 before you separating for sleeves. My row gauge might be a little bit looser, so I may not need to do as many repeats. I'll just have to keep measuring it as I go to kind of find what works for me. And yeah, that's that.
Very nice.
It's fun. It's really fun. And the yarn, like I said, is really nice to work with. There's some thick and thin spots. There's definitely plant material in some of it, which Skylar's been picking out for me.
Oh, yeah. He picks out, when I work with linen quill, he picks out the linen.
Yeah.
Like, he just goes through and starts picking it out.
Yeah, he picks out the Skylar's our parakeet, for those who do not know.
Who's actually quite quiet today, which is nice. All right, so my next whip is a brand new cast on. I was inspired by watching our friend Gail and Laura over at Yarn Room Shenanigans. Laura was wearing this in their last episode, and I figured it's been a while since I've crocheted. Probably a year, actually. Or just, a year. So, I decided to cast on a crochet project.
I love this for you.
I am crocheting the Juniper Cowl by Tony Lipsey, also known as TL Yarn Crafts. I think this was like a $7 pattern on Ravelry. It is a puff stitch cowl, and it's meant to use 10 different colored mini skeins of fingering weight yarn to create this. I'm not doing the 10 mini skeins. I'm just doing leftover yarns. So mine will look a bit different. And it recommends using... I actually had to check because it says in the pattern to use a US 6 F 4mm crochet hook, but my crochet hook is a US...
Is a G.
Oh, is a G 4mm, so I'm using the Clover Amore. So I did have to make sure I had the right size. And this is what I have so far.
I can't get over how freaking cute this is.
So this is the top of it. And this is where I'm at. I've done two sets of the increases. I actually think I threw in like one increase somewhere by accident. So I think I have like one more cluster than I'm supposed to. But this is what the puff stitch looks like. It's really, really easy. I enjoy it. I just have to be very careful with tensioning my yarn because I tension it very tightly. It makes it hard to pull the yarn through. So I have to actually, I have to pull off a lot of this so that I don't have any slack.
I find that a lot with crochet too. You need to have a good amount of loose yarn, if that makes sense. Yeah. Unless you have a cake that you're pulling from the center and it's very loose.
Yes.
Or you have one of those cake
it's so funny
things.
That's what I was going to say. I never thought that cake spinner, the thing that you put, I didn't see the appeal of using one.
Right.
I either have it sometimes in the bag or right next to me when I'm knitting, right? The spinner would just be something else that I have to worry about. I could see the benefit of it for crochet.
Me too.
Because of the amount you just need your yarn loose to make sure that your tension is okay, and it's easier to pull your yarn through your loops on your crochet.
And I find that you go through a lot of the loose yarn like so much quicker because when you're crocheting, like you're using up more yarn for the stitch, so it's you go through that faster, so it's easy to get to a point where you're like, oh, now I'm struggling to try to make this stitch.
For sure. So I am going to, I don't know how long I'm going to make this, to be honest with you. So I think I have a couple more repeats, and the repeat happens every 7 rounds. So I'm using this stitch marker to keep track of where my last repeat was. And you can see it's right here where I did 2 of the puff stitches in 1 chain space.
Yeah.
And I use that to kind of count how many rows I've done. And then also to know that this is the, like, I think it's my beginning of the round because it shifts.
Yeah.
Is that my beginning of the round? Yeah, you can see down there.
It would make sense that it shifts because they're going like that way.
Yeah. But it's actually really enjoyable to knit. I think the fabric this makes is really, really nice. It's super really soft. Is. I thought it was because one of these might have some cashmere in it. I don't know. This one might. I think this is Nancy's.
Yeah.
I feel like this is Little Nugget.
Oh, maybe.
This one might be Teddy Bear. And this is from a Stephen West shawl. This is from my vertices.
I honestly am in awe sometimes when you put colors together, even though you think that they're random or whatever. Like you have a really good eye for color.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This wasn't random though. This one wasn't.
Whatever. Like
I pulled some colors that I thought would look good together, and if I decide to keep going after I'm done with this skein, the next 2 colors I have to look at. They're more of a taupey color, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to be, but this, and it's not for me, this is just going to go into our gift bin.
This would make a nice blanket fabric.
Carrie and I just said the same thing on Thursday night. I just didn't know how this stitch would look in a blanket because of the space, the chain space. Because it's very, in my opinion, it's very holy, and that was one of the things I didn't understand about crochet. So I feel like you would need to tighten this up.
No, absolutely not. You can have.
Oh no, I guess not. No,
yeah.
So yes, I agree. But again, for blankets in the future, unless it's for a baby, I'm always going to go DK. So if you hold it double, sure.
I want to do a blanket for one of my friends, but I don't have the yarn for it.
Right. We have so much yarn.
It's all fingering though.
Hold yarn double.
I struggle personally holding yarn double for crochet.
Oh. What if it was 2 skeins or like 2 skeins?
2 threads.
Oh, okay.
Because you're the way that it just, my brain doesn't.
No,
I'm sure I can make it work, but I struggle a little bit with that.
So yeah, I think this is a really good pattern. Mm-hmm. I like it.
It's great.
You know, and she had a great tutorial on the puff stitch. It's literally, I watched it once and I was like, all right, cool. Like I know what I'm doing now. So if you are a beginner crocheter, I think this is a really good option to kind of just do something different than a granny square. I would say if you know how to do a granny square, you could probably do this. It's the puff stitch is a bunch of yarn overs and pulling through without pulling your yarn through. You have to like 7 loops on your hook and then pull your yarn through the last time and then chain 1. So yeah,
it's great.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's gonna be super.
And you got it
cute.
done really quick.
Yeah, I haven't done much. I pick it up here and there now.
Yeah.
And I have it living in my beautiful sister bag, which is nice because it's a nice little small project, easy to travel with. And that is whip number 2.
I love that. A little crochet. Okay. For me, my second whip, I have 2 things to talk about with this project. The first, I mentioned on the last podcast that I was going to start my June socks using the Bubbler colorway from Woolens and Nosh. And that's this, which is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. And I wanted to use the pattern Librarian Socks. Let me see if I can I'll pull that up so you can see it. And I started the Library Socks. Sorry, not Librarian Socks. Library Socks. And that is by the Kitchen Sink Shop, which is really cute. Very simple patterning on the sock. You can do the entire leg all the way around. You could do the front of it. You can change it up and just do the leg and leave the foot by itself. So I cast on and started with the Bubbler colorway, and I have to change it on Ravelry because I think I had linked it. And I started it. I wish I had left it on the needles, but the issue that I had with this colorway specific is because the stripes are very small. So with the Bubbler, there's is it a 12 color? I can't remember. There's a lot of colors in there, so each one of the stripes is smaller. And what was happening was you were losing one entire color. Like here, you see that? There's like none of that like bright blue going through, like because of the patterning.
Yeah.
I lost some of that color. So I said, you know what? This is not necessarily, see how like the difference is there? It just didn't look like the yarn. What are you doing?
I'm just opening something under the table so it doesn't make a bunch of noise.
It's not that I just called you out on everything. So anyway, I pivoted. It was not the right yarn for this project, but I wanted to stick with the pattern. And so I cast on with the April 2025 colorway from Woolens and Nosh called Garden Supply, which is lovely. Wait till you see it. I am so thrilled. So Woolens and Nosh, obviously, for those who do not know, Woolens and Nosh is a self-striping yarn dyer. One of our favorite bases, which is her Targhee sock base. It's 90% superwash Targhee wool and 10% nylon. Creates a really hardy, well-wearing sock. It's a little bit thicker than a traditional finger weight, like merino nylon, but it still is definitely a like heavier fingering weight.
Yeah, and it's a 3-ply. So cast on. And then this is what I have. Oh, it really makes such a difference with the stripe,
doesn't it?
Width,
right? So, here is the back of the leg. I love the colors. I think they're so good.
Do you know what's really crazy?
What?
Looking at it like this, don't you almost get so I'm seeing this and I'm getting like the dirt, the grass, and the sky. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a painting.
It's gorgeous. You know? It's such a freaking gorgeous colorway.
But if you had started it the other way, if you started it with
maybe like
a different color,
like this,
right, it would have a different feel to it. But that way, I saw it and I just could see the start of a painting.
Yep.
Weird. Okay, sorry.
So that's okay. So I cast on with the contrast. Or the coordinating, it's not a contrast, it's coordinating. The coordinating mini. I did a German twisted cast on, like usual. I did a 2x2 ribbing for probably 20 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh no, 15. Sorry, 15 rows, which is about 1.5 inches. And then I started with the red as well. No, the brown. Oh, right, great. Brown. Good job, Ray. Good job. It was hard to see in the dark. And it creates this... I just think this looks so pretty. You can still see the colors.
Yeah.
But do you see, like... And it's not that it's a problem here, but this is kind of what we were talking about. You can really see it with the white. See, you can see the little pearl bump show up in between those those two stripes. So in order to do that, and this is a free pattern, so you're basically doing a broken rib in a way. So you're knitting knit 2, purl 2 for 2 rows, and then you're knitting for 2 rows, and then you knit 2, purl 2 for 2 rows. And so it creates this really beautiful, it's like puffy and grid-like.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's so nice. So that's what I have there. I only opted to do the patterning on the front of the leg, and it'll be the front of the foot. The rest will be stockinette. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for my heel yet, if I'm going to use the coordinating mini, but I did mark for my heel. I'm going to put my heel in between that stripe here. That brown stripe, that dark brown stripe there. And then somebody had asked, and then I have a twinkle dimple there too. Somebody had asked for more clarification about when we're picking up stitches, and what do you mean by leaving 2 stitches uncut, and are you not knitting those stitches together? So when you're picking up, so I'm doing a cut, I'm going to do a cut and heel. I'm marking the row that it's going to be cut out. So I'm going to cut out the stitches that's marked here in the middle there. But before I do that, I'm going to be picking up, so I did 72 stitches. I'm going to be picking up 36 stitches in the row above that line, and 36 stitches below that line that I'm going to cut out. So I'm still going to have 72 stitches on my needles, right? Then I'm going to cut and pick out that middle line, because now I have both sections of the sock on those stitches saved, so they won't fall down. So I'm going to cut out everything except for those 2 stitches at the end here. Those will stay like knit together, right?
Hold on. I'm just going to clarify, because you said cut out everything. But just by not cutting everything out, what we do is we cut the strand once and we pick it out from the stitches. So again, you have 32 stitches on one needle.
Well, I have 36.
36 and 36. So you're just picking it out from the stitches on the needle. And what happens is it makes them live so you can knit them again.
So when you cut the fabric, you cut and pick out until the last 2 stitches here. But you still have your needles on all 36 stitches, or 32, whatever size you do, above and below. And so when you get ready to knit again, you're knitting those 36 stitches that are on the needle. So you're not knitting anything, like even when we say leave those stitches attached, what's happening is as you're knitting it, you're closing that gap there. And so you're going to have an additional 2 stitches kind of like tucked in on the inside that are still grabbing each other, but you're knitting over those stitches. And by knitting over those stitches, you're preventing the hole from forming on the side.
So this is the perfect video to watch.
Yes.
We will link it below. This is the one we recommend to everybody. This is the video that taught us. So even if you just want to watch it to visually understand what we're saying, this is the Kirby Werby. No, did it switch? Yeah. Oh, that's Earth Tone Girl here.
She's great too.
Yeah. But this is the one that we watched.
And we'll have a link down below.
So this is the Kirby Werby Afterthought Heel with no waste yarn. It's an 11-year-old video. There's a ton of views, but this is where we learned the technique of leaving the yarn, not picking it out of the last 2 stitches on either side, to just keep that gap closed.
Right. So I think the last time we explained it, you might have understood that, like, or not understood that you are leaving those. You have all your full stitches on 2 of the needles in between that line that you're taking out. So anyway, hope that made sense. It probably didn't, but that's okay. Don't add us. So this is the library socks.
I thought you said don't add, but at.
I don't know, whatever that means. Is that what the kids say these days? Michael says that often.
No, you know what it is? Oh,
He's a very like hip to the jive kind of guy.
it means like don't do the @ symbol.
Right. Don't at us. Like, don't send us a message and be like, at
Ray.
Ray, you're kind of dumb. You know? Again, I'm loving this so much. I think this is a great pattern. So, on that note, these are my June socks. On that note, I am going to... My July socks will be the bubbler socks, and I'm going to be using the heel toe do-si-do pattern, which I talked to a friend of mine who was using the bubbler colorway to do those socks, and they said it was perfect. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to do that.
That should be a bundle we create on our group, is patterns for self-striping socks.
Yeah, except we don't do those often. This is only
No, we don't.
This is my first second pattern sock for
because you did the one 2 years ago with a pattern for the Advent or
for
last
the
year?
Advent the year before.
Yeah. Okay.
But I love it. I think this is so cute.
Yeah, it is a really nice sock. There's another one pattern that I was thinking. The Legacy knits it all the time. So it's funny because you're going to do heel toe do-si-do, which is K-Litten. The other one that I know of, it's like Crunkle, maybe a Crunkle sock by K. Jones.
K. Jones. I have that pattern.
Yeah. Is another, I think, good one to use for self-striping yarn.
There's definitely a lot of different ones. So anyway, that's my sock scoop. Okay. So continuing on, love it. I'll bring that today probably for some knitting at the twins' birthday.
Nice. Yeah. All right, so my last whip
wait, and this is living in my Matterroot bag that we got. I got this in Boston.
Yes. It's so funny too that you just said that, because I saw the Boston stickers over there. I was like, oh, we need to put them on something from that.
I forgot we got stickers.
Yeah,
I know we got hats.
We did, and I actually wear the hat quite a bit.
You did, yeah. It looks really good on you.
All right, so my last whip is living in my Hide and Hammer bag. The roll top.
It's a good bag.
It really is. This is my Finest Kind sweater by Alicia Plummer, who this will also be in that.
Made significant progress.
That's in the bundle, the sweater bundle that I made in the Ravelry group. So here's the sweater. I'm using the exact colorway, exact yarn. I am doing the 3rd size, and I'm praying to every god there is that this works. When I did my gauge swatch, my gauge was looser than recommended. So I'm knitting the 3rd size, hoping to get the measurements from the 4th size. So we'll see. We'll see what's gonna. We don't know. It's a mystery knit.
Just for awareness, there was an update to the pattern.
Yes,
they had corrected a couple of things in some of the sizes. So if you had the pattern and you didn't know that there was an update, which you usually get an update from Ravelry or wherever, just know that there was an update.
I don't know where I was. I forgot to put a progress keeper in.
You were nowhere near where you are now.
But I'm pretty confident I was somewhere around like here.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be very interesting to talk about too. At least in my opinion, this is what I think has happened. You can see it.
I see the line.
Yeah. I have knit separated and knit the back. And if you see this line right here, that's where I separated. And my gauge changed knitting flat from knitting in the round.
That will 100% block out.
It will. And this is the gauge.
Holy sheepy. Batman.
So this, and now I'm currently...
huge.
Working...
Not huge. You knit so much is what I meant.
I'm currently working on the front of it. So this is...
Do you want me to help hold anything?
Here, just hold it like that.
Sure.
No, right there.
Where? Here?
Right there.
Okay.
And then here's the back here. And there. So...
Hold it up more so you can see all the... You did so much.
I did so much. This has really been my main focus.
Yeah.
It is going really quickly.
There's the sleeve shaping there.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to get to the sleeves. So I don't know. I'm assuming this is a drop shoulder construction, but with some short rows on your sleeve cap.
Okay.
to make it fit better. There were short rows in this patterning, which I am kind of impressed. I had to finagle it to, I'll say to my liking, because you do some short rows back here.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Right? So you can see it, and it breaks up the patterning a bit. And I had to really look at it to figure out what I could live with.
Yeah, sure.
In the breaking up of the pattern. And you here, I don't think you can visually see what I did. It
not at
looks
all.
like it's still in pattern.
The only thing you can see is that it puffs out a little bit here. So like because you've added that length.
Well, no, the length's here. From here to here and here to here are the short rows.
Oh, because it's not flat. It's,
right.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and then you bind off for your neck and you pick up later to...
Oh, it's so good.
To do the neck. So that's why I have some live stitches. It's... and again, this is really quick. I'm using the recommended needle, which is a US 8 or a 5mm. For my ribbing, I did a US 6 or a 4mm needle for that. I love the roll. This roll is literally what made me want to make the sweater.
It's just enough.
It is. It's
not
it's
like
too
a
much.
little kiss.
Yeah. I really, really like that. I did shorten my ribbing for what the pattern calls for. The pattern calls for 3 inches. I think I did 2. I love the little side seam.
Me too.
Here, the faux seam is really nice detail. The yarn's really nice to work with. It's, a non-superwash, so it's just spit slicing it together. So I just caked up my 4th skein of yarn.
You didn't talk about what the yarn is.
No, this is the sheer natural from Hairsville Designs. This is their Wellscroft Dorset. And this is the Morel colorway. It is an Aran weight.
Yeah.
So you get 203 yards for 100 grams. And it's super affordable. This was $15 a skein.
Yeah, it's so good.
So for a non-superwash US made fiber, it's really, really beautiful. It's super easy to work with.
It's also it's very light and airy.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
For an Aran weight fiber, you would think that this would have some weight to it. It is very, very light. What else can I say about this? So I'm going to be interested because I now, with the front of it, there's some separation of the left and right front so that you could build that up. You do some short rope shaping there. So I think the construction of this is really, really interesting. I've never done a sweater like this. The closest I would say that I've done to something like this might be my His Home Office. Because it was a V-neck, so I had to separate the front and the back. I had to separate the left front from the right front. So that had a little more knitting flat, like seaming up sleeves, where this one does not. I don't think so. I hope not. I think it's knitting around. So yeah, I am really, really happy with the progress. I think it's going to fit fine based on my measurement. I think right now this measures at about I think it was like 22.5 to 23 inches unblocked. So blocking it, I should be able to get, with blooming and blocking, I should be able to get the measurement that I want.
Yeah. It's so good. I'm really, really excited to start mine.
Yeah, and the reason I chose to do this over the vest first was because of the struggles that I have with knitting sweaters. I needed a win and a quick one. So I felt like, an Aran weight sweater on a US 8. That's beautiful. I'll be able to get through it pretty quickly. And I am. And I'm enjoying knitting it. It's a ton of knitting and purling, but that doesn't bother me.
Right. Me neither.
You know what? Maybe it's the...
How you're folding it?
It could be that I'm folding it too. That's creating the line. But yeah, it's a really, really nice sweater. There's a ton of finished object pictures in Ravelry, so you can see it in a bunch of different colors. Mari over at the Colorado Knitter was a test knitter for this, and she really enjoyed it. I could see myself, if this fits well, making another one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With a different yarn or the same yarn?
No, maybe with a different yarn. I think this would look really, really beautiful and maybe like a navy.
I think a lighter color would be really nice too.
Though
that is pretty light. My colors are dark. I have a darker gray.
You have the next one up, and my initial thought was to go with the lightest sheer color that they had.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't hate doing it in that, to be honest with you.
My watch is telling me it's time to stand up.
So that is all of our whips.
Yeah, that's it.
So let's move on to... We don't have any owl posts. Well, kind of. We do. Yes, we do. Actually. We have some. Let's jump into the owl post. And I'll show what you got me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I brought it up. All right, so owl post. Like I said, I made a purchase from Twinkle Dimple Studios. This is what I bought. Because this was the set called Echoes. I really like the two, like... They come across...
They're like
gray.
iridescent almost.
Yeah, iridescent, but they kind of come across with like this gray smoky tone to it.
Yeah.
So for those...
Gorgeous. And I love the silver rings on these.
Yeah, I like the silver rings. So I ordered these. And then Angie was super sweet and then sent some stuff for you all. So we have... This is...
Oh, Skylar's going...
I know.
Going for it
this is What-Its-Face from Game of Thrones, I think.
What?
Right? Isn't that a Game of Thrones character?
I can't...
I'm going to Google it. A-E-J. Yep.
Beautiful. These are so simple.
So this one is called Old Friends with Gold. Oh, no. It's Old Friends. It's on the gold rings.
Old Friends in Gold.
This is called Depths. This is the set Ray has.
I have this one.
And uses.
Except I have the gold.
This,
I like the silver.
Yeah, the silver's really, really nice. This, and then these are the Progress Keepers. This one is a peach, it looks like.
These are so fun.
This one is a pine cone, maybe, or a holly. I'm not quite
I think
sure.
they're just a pretty bead. What was that?
And then this one is also in gold. It's really cute. So we have a coupon code listed below in the Google Doc. It's linked there, and it will list all the coupon codes that we have. And we will have Angie's shop linked down below as well. Twinkle Dimple Studios.
She's so sweet. I can't wait to see them again.
I know.
All of them.
We don't have any plans to head back to Skane anytime soon, though, unfortunately.
Don't tell Justine or Lori.
And then the other thing, this isn't Owl Post, but Ray purchased some stuff.
Wait, are you not showing the May?
No, we showed it already. That's not May. That's April. I just grabbed it because it was in the bin, and I thought it was meant to come up. But that was May over there, and I showed it last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So we must have already showed that. I think that was your initial idea for your...
Nope. I brought that down to show Hank what the skeins looked like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then this is going to be a fun adventure for my birthday. Raymond purchased me chopsticks. No.
I did.
He got me a drum set. No, just kidding. Can you imagine?
I don't want to do that.
Oh, he got me a blending board.
What?
So, now I could make some roll lags.
Yeah.
And it came with the blending board, the brush. Hold that, please.
Sure. This is heavy duty.
Yeah. The clamp to...
It goes...
I don't know. I haven't opened it. Obviously, it came with
because there's a stand, so it sits like this.
Yeah, this is the stand
on an angle. Yep.
So yeah, so you have to attach it to a table with this.
Yep.
so that you could blend your stuff on there, and then you use these to make Rolags. So,
and I thought it would be cool because he's got not a lot of, but a decent amount of like leftovers. Like how fun would be to like blend your own and like mix some of those colors and fibers together.
Well, what I'm going to do is I have all this fiber that I bought from Long Island Yarn and Farm when we were at Vogue. So they're just solids.
Yes.
And I have 8 colors. So like, I'm going to blend these.
Oh, cool.
And then I can make some Rolags. And then I'm going to have to learn how to maybe spin from the folds. Possibly.
So the stand...
Oh, I see.
Can either sit up here, so you have a higher angle, or it could go down lower.
Yeah, there's one more spot there to go lower.
For a even higher angle, if that makes sense.
And then you just put your fiber on.
Mm-hmm. And this is an Ashford.
Yes.
Blending board. And I got this from the Woolery. Really, really highly recommend the Woolery. Very, very quick turnaround. Good, delivery was fast.
And then he also got me because I break mine. I've broken this twice now.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's made poorly. It's because I drop it from a high, like,
Kevin's
walking with
not.
it. I've broken my Acreworks gauge twice. We talk about it all the time. It's one of the best notions that we have is our Acreworks set.
Yeah, the whole
that
set.
That has the
notion set or something like that.
The scissors, hold your stitch markers.
It's all magnetic.
Yeah, so this is the gauge that I typically go to. So I've been taking Rays a lot. It's either this or I've been using the magnifying ruler.
Yeah, that's helpful
to do that. Mm-hmm. But yes, he got me one of these for my birthday as well. So now I can put it back on my set. So we'll see if maybe next time I might have some...
Maybe next time.
Blended fibers. And then the last thing is any breaking the bank? Just me?
I have no breaking the bank.
All right. Just me. And this is my May 2025 Into the World Fiber Club. This is called Moonfire is the colorway, and it is on a Kent Romney.
Moonfire is a spell in WoW that the Moonkins used.
Yes.
I was a Moonkin. I was a Night Elf Druid. That was my class that I loved to play. I was a healer for raiding. If anybody
here is the color. And what I was saying to Ray
is it is saturated.
It's
It
is like a saturated version of this.
Yeah.
But this is really, really
It's so good. I wonder if that was the inspiration.
So we got some peach and orange, reds. Got a very, like, a blue almost with some purple undertones in there. This red here.
So good.
Yeah, those two actually would pair really, really well together if I had them at the same time. I think it would have, worked well.
Yeah. If I had $1 million.
So yeah, I like this color. Let's put it into a braid real quick. Or kind of like a braid.
All right. I think that's all of the nitty-gritty things and the fiber-related stuff.
Yeah, because we
haven't said this in a while, but if you don't care to listen to what we've been watching or reading or any additional chit-chat we had, it's been great to see you. Have a lovely day. For those of you who would like to stay around, grab another cup of Joe. I think we'll be kind of quick.
Yeah.
So let's start with what we've been watching, because we haven't watched any shows lately over the past 2 weeks. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty.
Wow, that's going to be really pretty.
Wow, my thing is not beautiful.
That's okay.
Making a braid.
No worries. So we did, I think, 5 Mission Impossible movies. 6 Mission Impossible movies. I think I've only seen the first one, and then Kevin has only seen up to 3. So just on a whim, we were like, oh, let's just watch Mission Impossible. So those were, it was fun, entertaining. So we watched 6 of those.
I was saying what was interesting about watching that, though, is the time period. Like, the first one was made in 1999.
Yeah.
The last one we watched was, I think, maybe 2022 or 2020, maybe 2023. So, like, just the technology and the quality in that time period is really wild to see.
So then last night we watched.
Well, yesterday,
because we needed a sit on the couch movie marathon kind of day. We watched all of the
Hunger Game movies.
Thank you. Gosh, why am I having trouble?
And those are entertaining.
Yeah, the books are so good.
The books were really good, and the movies did a decent job. A good job. I'll say a good job of capturing the essence of the movies.
Yeah.
I thought some of
the books.
Of the books. Good job there.
Thanks. Yeah,
I thought that, and actually the casting of it's really good. They did a really great job casting the characters, I think.
Yeah. Joanna was really, she's crazy. So then
that's literally
what we've been like watching. We just kind of been hanging out. We've been obviously super social. Reading, I'll go first because I usually go last and then I take a long time. So I don't really have much. I did finish 2 of my audiobooks, book 3 and 4 of the Welcome to the Multiverse series. I absolutely love this series. It's so good to listen to. It is a lit RPG. I love it because there's also like an homage to different lit RPGs, and one of them is one that I'm like reading. I haven't actually listened to it in a little while. But it was cool because I was like, it was like an Easter egg. I got a little chuckle out of it because I knew what they were referring to. I think it's really well done. It's pretty epic. Like, there's so many moving pieces. I have no idea how the author keeps track of all of these things, like the different spells that he has and items in his inventory. Oh yeah. And but what's interesting here is, and I probably, if I was reading this book, I probably would skip these sections, but I can't skip it in the audiobook. I just listen to them. Every once in a while, they have like a stat check. So all the chapter is just listing all of the main characters' like stats and spells, what level everything is at, and then like major items in his inventory. And now that I'm on book 5. There's an awful lot now in his, his inventory.
I could see doing that though.
Yeah, so it's just like it just makes me feel like I want to play.
You can't skip it like on your watch. Like
while I'm driving. No, I don't want to. I don't want to mess around with anything while I'm driving. I just let it play because that's the last I need. Is I'm fiddling with something here, and God forbid the way that people drive these days. I don't trust anyone. All right, so this is book that I'm currently, like I said, it's book 5 that I'm on. It's called Contention. It's by Sean Oswald. Love it. And then I am currently reading Jurassic Park, which I am just very much loving the book. It's very different, same but different than the movie. There's so much more in this one, like a lot more like background and understanding of like why things are happening. It's good. It's very good so far. I think that's really all I have to say.
Okay.
Okay.
I've read 2 books. I finished The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This book takes place in 1975 at a camp in upstate New York by the Adirondacks. It is a thriller mystery. In 1975, the daughter of the family who owns this summer camp goes missing. Her brother went missing from the same location 14 years prior. And the book, you're uncovering both of those children missing. And yeah, I guess so. Yeah. The main focus is definitely the daughter who goes missing, but a lot of it does go back to her brother, and they called her brother Bear. Him missing, and he was 8 years old when he went missing. So the family is a very wealthy family, and that actually plays a really huge part in how they're perceived publicly to it. And it was really good. I didn't expect the ending. It's really nice too because you get a lot of different point of views, and with a mystery, people's like alibis and stuff change as the book goes along. So if you do like mysteries, I would highly recommend that one. I thought it was really well written. I liked the cast and who you think, like, who did it changes for sure throughout the book. The second book I finished is called Demon and the Raven. It is book 2 in the Raven of the Woods series. I wasn't talking to you, lady. And it is by Mary Calms? Calmers? Oh, Mary Calms. It is a supernatural book. There is male romance in it, and I love all the characters. I didn't like this book. I didn't like the story, and so the main character, Xander, is a witch, and his family is a guardian of the land that their cottage is built on. He isn't powerful. He's only powerful on the land because the land helps him. Mm-hmm. So, in this one, there's like a demon who comes to town and starts causing a whole bunch of havoc. But what's really weird to me with this is that he can't really do anything about it. Like, he can only do stuff when he's on his family's land. So, it's almost like it's supposed to be a cozy book. But the supernatural element, it kind of took away from that. Mm-hmm. And I would almost like the characters in the story better if it was more cozy and less trying to be supernatural, if that makes sense. So that is what I finished. I don't know if I would continue with that series if another book came out. And I'm currently reading book 4 in the Red Rising series, and that one is called... Let's pull it up because I have no idea where it is in my stuff. All right, let's just go Red Rising. So this is by Pierce Brown.
Sorry, my mom is texting.
That's okay.
Hi, Mom.
Golden Sun. Right? Nope, that's a lie, guys. Do not believe that. Iron Gold, maybe? I'm reading Iron Gold.
Okay, great. I'm glad we got there finally.
Book 4 in the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. I don't know why I took a break. Probably because it was a trilogy and I was just like, okay, I need a little break from these characters, and I never went back. This book, if you don't know, the first 3 books are fantastic. Ray and I both read them. I love that series. I would really love to see that series made into a TV show.
Yeah, it would be really neat, huh?
I don't think a movie would do it justice. I think a TV show, like on HBO or something like that, where they have a budget and they can do it incredibly well.
Yeah.
I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah, same.
I love all the characters in it. It takes place in the future, outer space. Our main character is Darrow. He's from Mars. He works in the mines pretty much of Mars below ground. And there's a rebellion, and he is the leader of this rebellion.
Not on purpose at first.
Yeah, for
really
sure.
Really interesting.
And the 4th book, and it's almost, I feel like it's going to be a separate trilogy, but I believe there may be, or I don't know. Definitely, it's a little bit separate, removed. It's 10 years after the 3rd book.
Okay.
And what's really interesting so far is that we're getting the point of view of another character that we haven't met before who lives on Mars currently. And a lot of this so far has to do with the aftermath of war.
Right.
You have this rebellion, and you have a rebellion. People are set free, let's say. But what's next? Are they living like a better life? So this one's... You're hungry.
Yeah, I am. But no, I just find it's funny because you just pulled a me. I love it. You went like into a lot of detail. Like, I love it. No, it's great.
But what's really interesting too is reading this and then watching Hunger Games, because I'm having the same thought watching Hunger Games. Like, when we watch all these movies and stuff and TV shows and there's a war and there's a rebellion and all these people get set free, it's the aftermath of that. Like, what happens to them? Society doesn't fix itself immediately, and everybody doesn't have the money that they want and the homes that they want or the jobs and blah, blah, blah. And this is addressing that. So I'm excited to see where this goes and get back to some of these characters. And I think Darrow's... Oh, that'd be going into too much detail if you haven't read the first three, so I'm not going to say that.
Don't say it.
So yeah, I'm excited to see where this one goes, because I have heard really good things about books like 5 and 6 where it's broken people, and there were moments I remember in the other books where they were rough to get through.
They were,
not fun. So that is what I've been reading.
Great.
I thought we were going to be a lot longer than this.
Yeah, no, me too. But we don't. I don't know. You're hungry too. I heard your tum-tum.
No, I'm actually surprised I'm not super hungry. I feel like we covered a lot of stuff today.
We did. I feel like we did talk about a lot of things. We do have to go.
Didn't rush.
We're gonna take my mom to the party.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I hope we didn't rush either. If you have questions or comments or anything like that, please let us know. But feel free to comment down below. We love reading your comments. We do reply to like almost every single one. We at least heart them so that you know that we like them. Yes. Sometimes time can get a little bit away from us, so we can get a little bit delayed, but we will eventually respond to everybody.
Yes.
And then be sure to look out on Ravelry. We'll probably have one more podcast. No, we won't have one more podcast. So I'll probably put the initial Ravelry post for Let's Hear It for the Boys up midweek maybe. Just kind of start that.
On Sunday.
I'll put that up on Sunday. Then look for us on Saturday at Driftwood Yarns.
Yep.
Super exciting. Excited about that. If you cannot make it on Saturday, like Kevin said, our yarn will be there all week. So, make your way there eventually. That would be lovely. And
yeah, I think that's everything.
I think that's it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for this broadcast of Needles at the Ready. We hope that you guys have a great 2 weeks, and we will see you in a fortnight.
Bye.
Bye.